How many deals did you close last year? Probably just not enough, right? That's why at this event, we're gonna be showing you how to do more deals this year than you've ever done. Not just that, how to do more profitable deals. How? With the cash offer strategy, we're teaching you how to do cash offers so you can do fix and flips, wholesale deals, creative deals, and increase your listings. So you're gonna be able to build 2 revenue streams. Come on, let's go. Let's do more deals.
Aidelys, stand up for me, please. All right, so that is actually Aidelys standing up, okay? So Aidelys is, listen, she is proof positive that enormous things can come in small packages, okay? I personally coached Aidelys for 3 years. She became an assassin on the phone. She then used that skill to do creative deals, right? And she created a community where she helps agents to teach them how to do those creative deals. A lot of you in this room have participated in that. And then she decided to get in this room, right? And be a part of what we're doing. Now, since you've been a part of what we're doing for the last year, how many deals have you personally done with agents in the community? 15. And how much revenue did that, wait, I'm just curious, by a show of, actually stand up if you've done a deal with Aidelys. Okay, wait, look. Okay, so, and how much revenue did that produce for you, Aidelys? Hey, like Drake, I don't know, it's a lot, I forgot. It's a lot of money, okay? What would you say? 200K or more. Now, I'm curious, Daniel, your first deal that you did with her, how much money did you make? Stay standing, Daniel. Everybody stay standing that's done a deal, okay? Don't sit down. I know you're like, hey, I don't want to be in the spotlight. Listen. Huh? 14,000 on your first deal with her, you? 42,000 on one deal. You, young man? $90,000 on one transaction. Mark Ramey? 10,000? 5? 24? Oh, Chris Perez, I'm curious. How much are you going to make, young man? Don't get analytical on me. Give me the answer. Huh? $40,000 on one transaction. And Jeff? And what's that going to be? All right, we'll see. But 37 plus, all because, guys, they were in this room. Clap it up for all those people. So we're going to have a panel, and this panel is of absolute rock stars that are operating within that framework that we just described of retail plus creative at a very high level, okay? And I thought this would be super helpful because I know you guys have some questions. Like everybody heard Jose talk, you will hear Abel, you'll hear from Aidelys, and it makes logical, practical sense. Yes or yes? 100%. I already know though I can watch as I'm seeing like throughout the crowd, people are like, I don't know if I could do that. That sounds a little complicated. I don't know if I have the money, right? All these different things that pop into your head. And the really awesome thing is every single person that's here started off listing property and that's it, okay? That's all they did was just, they were an agent. And the people that you see today is because they stacked skills and they learned something new. That's it. And what you'll realize are these skills are transferable. So I guess we can start with Aidelys because ladies first. And again, big dogs come in small packages, yes? So if you could, Aidelys, talk a little bit about making that transition, because actually when you made that transition, I actually gave you a little static about it, didn't I? Okay, good. So talk a little bit about that.
This Aaron here is a evolved Aaron. He used to give me a hard time about content. He used to tell me, oh, you're making those videos, go make calls. We're coaching for 3 years, I believe, and we were working on the listing presentation, FSBOs expired, and then I started to have a desire to do more on the investment side, and I started getting involved there. I have that call recorded. One day I'm going to play it on a big screen.
We should put it up here and play it.
I have it where I was telling him, well, I want to do this thing called wholesaling. And he's like, why do you want to do that? Like, keep doing what you're doing. And, you know, part of you has to know, like, when to pivot, when there's a desire. So I just did it because I was tired of the way I was doing business with the FSBOs and the expireds. I think it's a great strategy, but you can't just do that because I always felt like I was chasing. So I wanted to do things where, I was attracting sellers that actually needed my help. And then I had to become really good at being able to provide solutions to those sellers. Now, I don't call FSBOs, I don't call expires. We actually have cash offer marketing where the sellers are submitting their information. They want you to give them an offer. And we've gotten really good at qualifying and being able to provide different solutions.
And she was like, hey, how do we do this? You connected with Jessica, and now all of your stuff is virtual, yes?
Jessica, she's not here? Oh, my queen,
Yeah.
my listing queen. I'm really open to learning and doing things differently. So our business right now is composed of, so we do listings, we do creative deals like subject to seller finance, we do wholesales, we do novations. So it wasn't like I did everything all at once, right? We started adding layers to our business. We just did wholesaling for like the first year and a half. And then we felt like there was opportunities where the wholesale just wasn't the right fit, but they were still discounted. So then I found this guy that was doing novations. We learned about novations, and then we added that branch to our business. And then, we were getting a lot of sellers that there was like low equity. And I was like, okay, how do we help them? So then we learned about creative, and then we added it.
Now, Abel, this dapper young gentleman here, you did how many retail transactions last year?
We did 85 retail transactions.
How much volume was that?
67 million.
67 million. And then how many creative deals?
We did 15 creative deals.
And on those 15 creative deals, how much money did you make?
$814,000.
Oh, that's pretty dope, yes? Because you can tell them, tell them the amount of contacts you made, those first, I think it was like the first year or whatever, or that first couple of years.
The first couple of years I was on the phone on average like 5 to 6 hours a day, getting 50 to 80 contacts a day.
A day, team.
Yeah.
Hey, look at me. It takes what it takes, yes? So you were all outbound.
Yeah.
And essentially, and didn't you knock on like a silly amount of doors or something like that?
I didn't do any door knocking. It was just all on
just
the
hammered.
phone.
And then,
But I was selling like mobile homes, whatever I could get.
Yeah, bro. Hey, is it on wheels? Nope, I can help you, right?
Yeah.
So it was all outbound. And when you just happened to bump into somebody that we're like, hey, this is a really good deal, you would do it.
Yeah.
And tell me this, what caused you to make the connection from inbound to outbound? Because that's really when things took off, yeah?
Yeah, so then I realized that the phones obviously worked. So then I built like a really small cold calling team.
Okay.
So I had a VA out of the Philippines, and she, I don't know, brought in 20 listings one year.
Yeah,
so in a
pretty
way
good, right? Yeah.
In a way that's inbound, right? Because now I'm not personally the one calling those leads to begin with. I'm just getting updates like, hey, this is a hot lead, you should call them. So that's when it started to click the difference between inbound and outbound and leverage.
Yeah.
And systems. Basically, we'll play the commercial later, but that was the first like truly inbound,
Yeah.
where now people are calling me looking for a solution. And then I had a lot of success with it right away. Can't say that's a guarantee,
Yeah.
but for me, it worked. And then I started adding and tweaking different things. So pay per lead, right? I've played with direct mail. I built a home buying website, and now at this point I'm getting like free SEO leads on Google that are just searching sell my house, and I'm the first thing on Google. So I've played around with a lot of things, and what works the best for me now are TV, SEO, and PPL when it comes to like true off-market assignment
He
contract.
found me online. Hey, it works, yeah? And he was like, yeah, dude, I want to grow and scale my business. Like, I think you can help me. And you were doing great already. You were already like a rock star. And on one of our first calls, I was like, hey, what's your goal? He's like, oh, I want to sell 100 homes a year. I said, why? And if you get to know Abel, he's an intelligent guy, and he paused. That's how you know somebody's smart. You ask him a question, they go like this. You ever seen Elon when they ask him questions? What does he do? He's quiet for like 2 minutes. It's because he's thinking. So he pauses and he looks at me. He's like, well, I don't know. I've just always wanted to do it. I said, okay, so it's a vanity number. He was like, yeah, I guess it is. I said, what's more important to you? Do you want to be rich, or do you want to have vanity? He's like, I want to be rich. I said, great. Which thing in your business has the highest margin? What did you say, hands down?
The off-market.
Off-market, hands down. I was like, great. So if you spent more time doing it, what do you think you could do on that side of the business? At the time you're doing $500,000, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, I think I could double it. Great. What would you need to do to be able to spend more time on it?
Tell women that are in real estate and that feel like they can't be successful because they have kids or because they're women. Yeah. Tell us about your story.
I appreciate you, girl. So first of all, like, you know, you are so young and so powerful, and you never let anything stop you, which it it sometimes reminds me, because as women, don't we often take, I don't know if you ever feel this way, but it's like we have to wait for our chance to speak. Let's mind our business. And I see you and you're like, no, like my voice needs to be heard. My voice helps and I'm here to serve. And like you being so young and so powerful reminds me sometimes, like, girl, why are you hiding this gift? Get out there.
You know, there's lots of scripts and there's lots of ways that people say things, coaches out there. And the way that Aaron, the stuff that I could find aligned for Aaron at that time was just like aligned with exactly how I know we can't always feel comfortable with the scripts and everything, but the way that Aaron presented things, I was like, that sounds like, excuse me, like how I want to sound in a sense. Like I can identify with that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So you were there, you were consuming, it was helpful, you were utilizing it.
So I was like, oh wow, I can finally get closer proximity to Aaron, something that I've always wanted to do. So that's what it was.
You got to put in the time. So you started to put in the time, right?
Yep.
You got access to like, okay, what do I say? How do I say it? You're jumping on calls, you're asking questions, which I always find interesting. People are on calls with me and they don't ask questions. Like that's the whole point. You're asking a lot of questions. And then you started to see some success with probates, yeah?
Yeah. It took me about 6 months as well.
What are you noticing? Anything worth doing well is worth doing poorly before you can learn to do it well, bro. Right? If it's not worth doing for a decade, it's not worth doing for a day. So he stuck with it. You know how many agents I meet, they're like, oh yeah, I tried probates for a month and you know what? Like nobody picked up, so I'm just gonna move on to the next shiny object. No.
So we're wrapping up the Do More Deals Summit. We covered so much and there was so much value given here. We talked about AI, how to use AI to follow up and close more deals. We talked about cash offers, cash offer ads, and how that's causing agents to close $850,000 just in off-market deals. We talked about cash offer framework. We talked about how to talk to sellers, how to convert. There's been so much value. For me, it's been a special event because a lot of my community members are here. They're real estate agents and I'm teaching them how to not just be agents, how to also be investors and how to create 2 revenue streams for their business. I've been able to take pictures with everybody, hug everybody. So it's just a beautiful thing because these are people that are in my community and that I personally helped grow their business. So it's been amazing. All right, guys.